panels. We must recognize that banning this event will lead to chaos and people rages because not all of them conditionally suits with the vegetarian, and in certain condition it will lead to injustified in the implementation of the idea that the government side of the house have brought to you. So under the opposite side of the house stances and goal, our stances are clear. So we want to explain to you the production of meat is okay, important, and secondly why their main alternative is at the end of the day is incorrect, and third of all why we must upholding the idea of protection of the humankind, and we deny this banning system in order to sustain the human living. So here I have 4 points of arguments, and I will intertwine that with my rebuttals also. So the first layer is how this mechanism is more human, and it is already adjusted to be a more human way to farming production. So we see that there's a lot of example, like they ensure the food, and they ensure how they taking care of the animals, and also this is a proof to you that the farming production is already human and adjusted to the modern state. So also if we want to talk about the mechanism itself is are also adjusted to be more or less painful. So I think the idea that comes from the government side of the house, that they champion that it is morally incorrect because it will hurt the animals. Well, let's say that this is something that cannot be implied as the main frame, because we think that the solution to that is already happened in the status quo, and we don't think that there's a problem at all in those kind of situation. So moving to my second argument, how human evolved to consume more protein based on animals. So this kind of certain things is exclusively only on animal. We are talking about the rising of amino acid and iron that is exclusively on animal, and why human really need that thing. So if they are brutally banning this kind of meat, this kind of thing that is really essential to human, then the question is where they need to fulfill those kind of protein and amino acid and iron. So even if the government side of the house champion the idea that it will have a solution to that, well, let's say through synthesis medicine, well, at the end of the day it will cost more money to do it, and their side of the in their side of the house who wants to defend which one is more expensive, which means that they are failed to propose that idea, and that point are being naturalized by us and tackled by to our points. So my third point is how the production will have a significant changes towards the affect other actors. So as we know that we are already settled to the production since a very long time, right? So it is already involved too many sectors. For the example, healthcare, farmers, and so on and so forth. So if we brutally banning them, it will hurt them economically. So we say that the healthcare that depending on the growth of the animals. For the example, they do testify them, they do like research them, and if we brutally banning the production of meat, where they want to have research and development, and I think it is very essential to this kind of portrait of situation where we must prioritize the sake of the humankind to be progressive at the end of the day, right? So for farmers, they have been they are depending their life on the production rate, right? If we ban this certain condition where they want to continue their life that depends on this specific event, for example, they depends on this thing, right? So I think it is essential for them to stick to the status quo, and why we should not banning the meat at the end of the day. So the fourth point is about the exclusivity. So the government side of the house really championed the idea how this will lead to how this will leads to obesity and other healthcare problem that they want to solve. And the mechanism that they want to solve is by banning the meat, and hopefully that by banning the meat, the rate of obesity are going down. But under our side of the house, we think that if we brutally banning the meat means that we don't have an access to this kind of things, right? It means that it will also lead to another problem rising at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's say that obesity is gone. Let's say that their narrative that they want to achieve the healthy rate of the people are rising because there's no obesity, because at the end of the day people will choose vegetarian because people will consume vegetables instead of meat. Well, but other healthcare problem might be rising, ladies and gentlemen. We talk about how human needs to a certain amount of iron, of amino acid. So if this thing is not being fulfilled, then there are other healthcare problems that might be rising. For example, anemia, and also how a certain people that depends on the consumption of meat is dying out there. And I think it is not mutually exclusive if we want to talk about how this will erase the problem of the healthcare sectors. And I think that points are already being tackled down, and that point are on us, since their main point of exclusivity are not the point of view that we want to talk about. That in this specific case, we want to talk about how humans are going to sustain at the end of the day. And I think under our side of the house, by not banning the system, we are sustain the human living. And I think that's all for me. Thank you very much.